And we're back. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Hawk Sense. I am your host, Alex Nicolau, and welcome back, everybody. I apologize for the hiatus. If you guys watched my Let's Play video, you'll know why I was gone, but to reiterate what I said there, for those who have not watched the Let's Play, which you should, it's been a lot of fun. I've been having a lot of fun playing with you guys. Basically, just getting acclimated into school. We started school 2 weeks back, then we had welcome week, then we had club fairs and all this kind of stuff. You guys know I'm doing multiple roles at the school now. Also, I got that little cold that everybody has been getting, and it's not been fun, and I'm not going to lie, it's been kind of messing up my game when it comes to podcasting. But we are here, above the odds, and I'm very excited to be bringing you guys this episode, because we're not only doing one, not two, but 3 different movie reviews in this episode. Not a full-length one like we usually do. I just want to recap because I know I was a little bit dismissive for doing reviews and promoting other projects because of the strikes that are going on. But unfortunately, I don't see an end as close as can be for us to start doing podcasts again. So I'm going to go ahead and start doing podcasts again because I feel like it's okay for us to do so. So we're going to be talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, everybody. That's a great one that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Blue Beetle, which was also a fantastic movie. And then we're going to be addressing Spider-Man Lotus. As a big Spider-Man fan, you know how weird this conversation is going to get with that. Also, we're going to talk about some other news. We got some character posters for Spider-Man 2, a bunch of new news for that, and a little bit of a message of a rumor of a director who might be directing Avengers Secret Wars. No, let's start off with that because I have a story as well. So I told you guys a few weeks back on my last, I think it was the finale of the remastered main campaign. I told you guys I was going to meet Sam Raimi, and I met Sam Raimi. It was great. I unfortunately didn't get to talk to him a lot. There was a lot of people, and I know I'm me, but everybody else is them. They're all huge fans, so I didn't want to talk to him for like 30 seconds. So I said, hey man, your work is an inspiration for everything I do. Thank you so much for everything. Let's hit the Spidey pose. And then we hit the Spidey pose, and then I said, thank you so much, sir. Appreciate it. Walked off. I wasn't that cool. I was like, sir, can you please? It's like my hero. Literally, like every word I said of that was true to him. Like he's an inspiration for everything and anything I would like to do and am doing now. So it was great to meet you, Sam. I hope you're gonna be directing Avengers Secret Wars, everybody. So, Avengers Secret Wars might be the next time. No, because that's Avengers Secret Wars is after Kang Dynasty, right? I'm more excited for Secret Wars than I am for Kang Dynasty at this point. I don't even know who wants to see Kang Dynasty, especially of how hard Ant-Man and the Wasp may have flopped, and how just disinterested some people have been feeling with the character of Kang the Conqueror, considering he does not have the level of impact that Thanos had whatsoever in this universe that they're trying to set up this new multiversal saga with him as the main ringleader and whatnot. I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm excited for Secret Wars for a lot of reasons. That's when Tom's hopefully going to get his black suit. We're going to see Toby again. We're going to see Andrew again. And honestly, I think Spider-Man's going to shine in that. Not just Toby and Andrew, because obviously that's awesome, but Tom. Tom's going to get his black suit in that, and I think that's where the black suit story is going to carry into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I can't wait for that. It's going to be awesome. But I think we can get started with the reviews right now. Let's start talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. All right, fresh off the gate, I have to say this is one of my favorite films that came out this year in the world of comic books. It is so fantastic. It's a brand new coming-of-age story with your favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, baby. And they basically, the plot of the movie, they're fighting a brand new villain called the Superfly. It's not a villain that we've seen in the comics before, but it's very much based on Baxter Stockman's character. Baxter Stockman's more of a scientist, and he turns himself into a fly, but I think they would maybe wanted to have the fly be like the ringleader of it all, because Baxter Stockman represents the fly. His favorite animal to turn into was a fly with a mutant gene, and I think Ice Cube played it well. That was really awesome. He was also created by the Ooze, All the other people were created by the same ooze that the Turtles did, which is pretty cool. Baxter Stockman did create the mutagen for TCRI, not TGRI. And Superfly's plan was basically to mutanize every single living being except for humans on the planet, so they would be the dominant species and kill off the humans, which is pretty sickening. Dude, I love the movie. Like I'm going off script. I'm going off script right now. I'm closing my tab. I'm going off script. I loved this movie so much. It feels so fresh. I feel like every single iteration of the Turtles we get is the Turtles. You know, they're great. We all know and love all the Turtles. You know, we got Leo, the fearless leader. We got Michelangelo, the goofball. We got Raphael, the hothead. We have Donatello, the wise guy. All those traits that you see and we've been seeing in Turtles forever are still there, but they're added personalities. They have something that they like to do. They have something that they're interested in. Things that we don't see regularly because they interact with the world around them in a different way than any other iteration of the Turtles we had. As we can see at the end of the movie, they all start going to high school. Something we've never seen before. Even when the police knew about the Turtles, they didn't want to come above ground. They were always in the sewer. So we see Leo taking on... I'm trying to put on my shirt. We see Leo taking on a little bit of a romantic relationship with April O'Neil. I mean, I don't think it counts as bestiality because it's fictional and it's not supposed to be thinking about it in that way, so don't think about it that way. It's cute. I mean, every iteration had that one of them hitting on April. You know, April's supposed to be like the pretty girl and whatnot. Then we have Michelangelo, who's not only the goofball of the group, he has braces. He also is into improv comedy, which is pretty cool. We see that in the end. Then we see Raphael. He is joining like wrestling and pretty cool. And then we have Donatello, who is like with a bunch of IT tech nerds at the end, just on their computers. I loved it, man. It feels so fresh. Like I mean, who doesn't love the Turtles? You cannot say you hate the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And the theater experience that I had was fantastic. I went to an early access release, so I saw that movie a week before it was actually supposed to come out, which was super awesome. As you can see over there, I did get a poster. You can't really see it well, but it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, and it's all for the Turtles taking a slice of pizza, which is pretty cool. And I also got a comic with a bunch of old comic covers from characters that are in the movie, such as like Mondo Gecko, not Superfly, sorry. What's his name? Genghis Frog, Leatherhead, Wingnut, stuff like that. People like that, which is really, really cool, and I loved it. And I really wish movies would do that more often, especially Marvel movies, because I would go every single time. I saw it on a Monday rather than a Thursday, which I usually go, which is not a week, but like it's prior. I would love that. Getting a poster, getting a comic. I loved getting that kind of stuff. It's so awesome, and I really wish a lot of movies would do that more often. What else do I have to say? I mean, I think I have one gripe about the movie, and I think this is coming from me as a longtime Turtles fan, is that even though we've gotten so many iterations where the Turtles are, you have this connection to Japanese faction of samurai or ninjas, that was missing from this movie. You know, every single iteration led back to what's his name? Yoshi. I forget. I'm sorry, I forget. I can't forget. It's like on the tip of my tongue, but I don't want to mess it up. Hamato Yoshi or something like that. It leads back to the clans, which it was Shredder's clan and then the Splinter's clan were kind of like rivals. It leads back to that. But in this movie, it's all kind of just missed. I mean, we do get the post-credit scene with Shredder, which we'll talk about, but like Splinter teaches the Turtles through a book and a bunch of like 90s, or not 90s, like 2000s, because they were 15 years old, like DVDs of like people working out and doing ninja stuff, and then he just gives them weapons and they have to learn with that. I think the meaning of why they're fighting, why are they ninja, was kind of lost in the fact where they were trying so hard to make it them teenagers. I I really like the fact that they really emphasize the teenager aspect, because 100%, like Seth Rogen said in the first 15 seconds when meeting the turtles, you can tell they're teenagers. 100%. Like, I love the iteration for that reason, because I mean, we do know that every single iteration before these young actors took on these roles were all played by adults. They were just voice actors. They were just other people. They weren't teenagers. They didn't act like teenagers. Like, they let the teenagers sit in a room all together, and they just bounce back and forth off each other, improvising lines and stuff like that. And it was great. But I told you I'm dying. I told you. Sorry, let me take a swig here real quick. But that meaning of, the ninja was kind of lost. And I know it's not a huge, it is a huge aspect if you read the comics, especially recently with the popularity of the last Ronin comics. I was kind of missing that. Now we have Shredder in the next movie. I don't know if he's just going to be like a mercenary type thing, because that's kind of what it seems he is going to be. But I'm excited for the future. I know we have a game coming out next year, which is pretty cool, pretty wacky. I know we have not the last Ronin game. The last Ronin game was announced. It's probably going to release in like 2025, 2026 even. But there was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem game coming to consoles and PC that takes place a few months after the events of Mutant Mayhem. Where did that come from? I'm not saying it's going to be some like AAA, Spider-Man 2 level game. I definitely think it's going to be like a smaller, world game. But that's still awesome. Like, where did that even come from? Though the resurgence of the Turtles is awesome, and I just cannot wait for that. I know we have a spin-off series coming called Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is kind of like a backstory of that, or just like a little TV show with like side quests. It's like a side quest basically. So I'm very excited for that. I mean, I loved the movie. It was awesome. The jokes were funny and they all hit. I know Matt and I really like the scene where they were like, I need the bacon, egg, and cheese, and they're going, we outside, and then Mikey was twerking in the back. That's so funny. It's so great because like that's a teenager. That's a teenager. That's how I acted when I was a teenager. Just like an idiot and just like a goofball. And it was awesome. It was awesome to see them like that. But they all, like I said, had their distinctive traits. Like Leo was still trying to lead. Raph was always the hothead. Mikey was the comedy guy, and Donnie was always a smart one. He learned to drive. He was playing Forza. He was reading comics. He was an anime fan and a K-pop fan. So I mean, like that's they all had their traits, but with added on features, and it was just so fresh, so awesome. So for my official, unofficial review for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Now the 1 is because of the ninja aspect was kind of lost. Next up, we're going to be talking about Blue Beetle, another one that was just fantastic. If you saw Blue Beetle, you know how you felt after that movie was just how like you feel when you stop watching Spider-Man. The original Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, it feels like that. There was a TikToker who I seen, I'll put their link up on screen. He like posted a TikTok and was like, I was like literally after the movie, I went on TikTok and he goes, it feels like the first Spider-Man, bro. And I'm like, yes, it does. You know why? Because it's a classic superhero film. They give him his origin. They give a villain origin. They have a common enemy, or they have a conflict of interest. They fight. Blah blah blah. End of the movie. That's it. Post-credit scene, yeah, but nothing big, right? Nothing big for huge interpretation. Kind of on the nose there. But everything about this movie was great. Xolo Maridueña is a fantastic actor. I love him. He's great. Love him in Cobra Kai. He's a rapper now. His song is kind of fire. It's called On My Way. It's kind of fire. He's Blue Beetle now. His suit looked fantastic. His acting was fantastic in the movie. It was actually amazing. Like, I really loved this movie. I walked out of the theater very, very happy with the outcome. One thing I think I could gripe on is I think maybe the side characters got a little bit too much shine. I think that's one of my biggest issues when I be super, super critical on the Tom Holland's Spider-Man trilogy. I'm very critical of the side characters, the amount of side characters, the amount of world building they did was too massive for one movie. Like in Spider-Man Homecoming, I think it was okay, We got MJ, we got Ned, we got Betty, we got Flash, and then Liz, and then that's a lot already. But then there's some people sprinkled in on the side. We know with Cindy Moon. There's that Abraham kid and the other nerdy kid with the blue glasses. And I mean, in the second movie, we got a lot of different people, side characters in this movie, in that movie, and it just kind of felt overwhelmed. And in Blue Beetle, it kind of felt that way with the family. I mean, George Lopez was hilarious in the movie. The dad was great. The mom was great. The grandmother was great. And the sister was great. They were all great actors, and I enjoyed them on the screen. But there's so much you can do in a movie with those side characters to where I feel like it just gets played out, and it just doesn't sit right with the fans. And that's kind of how I felt after the movie, but I still love the movie. I didn't think it was way too much. Like how I personally think Far From Home, that's one of the biggest reasons why people hate on Far From Home is because they focus on the side characters a lot. But Blue Beetle, I walked out of the theater very, very satisfied. The enemy was great. The entire world that the new DCU is building, it looks very promising. I mean, James Gunn had some like productive, creative decisions in this, I believe. But this is the first one of the DCU, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm excited to the direction it's going. It looks great. I love Blue Beetle really much, a lot. I am so like. Can you tell I haven't podcasted in over 4 weeks? Can you tell? But yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. Not to talk about it too much because I know it's kind of fresh. I don't want to spoil it because I did not do a review on my TikTok like I usually do. But basically, Joel Menaduenas' character, Jaime Reyes, right? Reyes, yeah. Jaime Reyes. That's his name, yes. I don't know why I'm trying to... Yeah, Jaime Reyes, he comes back from college and he realizes that his family's struggling on money, so he gets a job cleaning a hotel for the Cord family. Ted Cord, known as the original Blue Beetle. I know they're skipping to Jaime Reyes because Jaime Reyes is a much more popular character than Cord was. I like that idea because they did leave the possibility for him to come back in the future, which is pretty cool. Then he meets what's her name? I even forget her name. The sister who is head of Cord now, and she's a real B. She's a real B to Ted Cord's daughter, and Jaime gets in between that, and then Ted Cord's daughter kind of is like entrusts Jaime, and then she gives him the Scarab the next day because she steals it because she's trying to make a super weapon with the Scarab. Then the Scarab chooses Jaime, and Jaime now has a Scarab. It's really great. I mean, like it's really on the nose. Like I said, it's such a great movie. I would 100% recommend you guys go see it in theaters whenever you guys get the chance. I don't know if it's coming on Max anytime soon. I think they're gonna take a break from skyrocketing them onto streaming platforms. I know that's been kind of killing the movie industry a little bit. Like I said, I don't want to make these too long, so for my official, unofficial review of Blue Beetle, I am also giving it a 9 out of 10. The 1% that I'm missing is because of the family. I thought maybe it was a little bit too much and we need a little bit more screen time for Jaime to build that relationship and for us to get to know him better. Lastly, let's get to talking about Spider-Man Lotus. Now, this is a very disappointing conversation to have. Just to preface so you guys know what we're getting into, Spider-Man Lotus was a fan project based on the comic book Spider-Man Blue, which is a fantastic comic book about how Peter is dealing with his emotions and his grieving process after the death of Gwen Stacy. He leaves a rose at her grave all the time and where she died, and records messages for her about what's happening, how much he's missing her, and just basically whatever's happening in his life. And he plays it at her cemetery, or at her grave in the cemetery. Dude, if I had a dime for how many times I screwed up in this podcast, dude, I mean, can I be honest? I give it up to the big podcasters for doing this every single day. I've been doing it kind of every week, maybe every other week now. It's tough sometimes. It is tough, but I love it. I do love it. Anyway, so this movie was based on that comic book Spider-Man Blue, which is a fantastic book, but now it's getting a bad rep because of Spider-Man Lotus. And I honestly thought that the project was going to be really awesome. So this young man named Gavin J. Knopp, reached out and said, hey, I have this idea for a fan film. It would be so awesome if I can get some fundraising on this website, Indiegogo. So he raised over $112,000 on Indiegogo to make this fan film. Now, that's not a lot of money, but that is a lot of money for a 17-year-old kid to make a fan film. And he did right by it for some time. He made an awesome suit. He made an awesome concept of it. He paid VFX artists. He was doing all this until the allegations came out of him being very rude to the crew of Spider-Man Lotus, very rushing for the VFX team, and using inappropriate racial and ethnic slurs to a group chat, which had the director, Gavin J. Knopp, Warden Wayne, the person who was playing Peter Parker, and I forget his name, but he played the Green Goblin in the movie. They were all exchanging these messages using words like the N-word as casual terms, but also calling, I believe it was an Arabic man, a sand N-word. Now listen, I am no room to talk. White guy, right? No room to talk about any racial issues, right? But I am grown. I think, we all can deserve a second chance, but not at that age. I think there's a lot of us out there who have done and said some things that they wish they hadn't at a very young age, and that's just that, right? They were old enough to understand that their actions were not cool. They knew exactly what they were doing, and they knew who it was going to hurt if someone heard those messages. And very inappropriate. And in my opinion, he did not deserve any of that money or any of the fantastic cast, or not much cast, what's left of the cast and crew that helped work on this movie. Because some of the shots look fantastic. Some of the audio is fine. My personal opinion, I didn't really like the audio mixing. I thought it was not very good. But the VFX was fantastic for a fan film. I mean, that's like, it was like Xbox 360 quality for a fan film. Now that's great. Like, you're lucky to get PS1 quality in a fan film. Anyway, basically what I'm trying to say is Gavin understood his actions. He knew what he was going to say in these group chats, and what he was saying in these group chats was going to affect somebody's life. So, in my opinion, I think he's just he's a big turd. That's pretty much it. I mean, that's it. He also got DMs from John Watts, who is the director of the Tom Holland Spider-Man trilogy, and was like, dude, John Watts just DM'd me. Too bad his movies suck. And he was basically saying that John Watts doesn't know the ins and outs of the character of Peter Parker, and that the relationship that him and MJ had in the movie was so forced and corny. Now, if you want to talk about forced and corny, Gavin, take a look at your Peter and Gwen story. As a matter of fact, take a look at the acting of your Peter after Gwen died. Basically, what I'm saying is this movie's a hot mess. It really is. Some of the parts are fantastic. I mean, the suit looks great. I mean, to be less critical and being on a more like separating the art from the artist, I think this had potential. I think if what had happened never happened, it would have been a successful project, and people would have given it the benefit of the doubt because he was a young man and first time directing a movie, right? And it was a $112,000 budget, which I could see, But unfortunately, he did what he did. He's a POS, and everybody hated on his movie, and he deserved it. It's pretty much what it is. In my opinion, I mean, if I just to give my review right now, my official unofficial review of Spider-Man Lotus, it is a 4 out of 10. Me, someone who knows the ins and outs of the character of Peter Parker, you can trust me on that. You can ask anybody. They will say, "Go ask Alex. Go ask Alex." Any question doesn't even have to be Spider-Man related, right? They'll ask me. You do not understand the ins and outs of Peter Parker. Your character of Peter Parker sucked in every single way possible. After Gwen died, he pushed everybody away in a violent and aggressive manner, rather than just not talking to people, not showing up, and just not being around, which Peter Parker would do. Peter Parker would never talk to MJ like that, the way Warden Wayne's Peter Parker and your Peter Parker did at the cemetery after Gwen died. Peter Parker would never, ever lose hope like that. Ever. You sucked in this movie. It blew. It blew. Like, I hate being so rude and critical because I really, really enjoyed watching this grow until everything happened. But to watch you consistently offend, disrespect, and just spit on everybody, you deserve it. So, I mean, I'm getting this, like, enraged because Spider-Man is such a beautiful character. He represents unity. Anybody can wear that mask. Doesn't matter who you are. What your race is, what your gender identity is, what your sexual orientation is, anybody can be under that mask. And they will always stand for great power and great responsibility. And you were given a great power of $112,000 and a great responsibility to deliver a accurate and great representation of the character of Spider-Man. And you blew it by being a POS and delivering us a god-awful movie. That's pretty much what I have to say for that. I'm sorry. I really am. I don't like being rude. Like, everybody knows me. I hate being mad. I hate being mean. I hate being emotional like that. I'm a very, very positive person. I'm sorry. Like, I really am sorry because you just didn't understand. Like, that's like the biggest, like, that's like the fastest I've seen power go to somebody's head ever before. You got so much traction on this project, like a couple months later. Woo! I don't know. So yeah, for my official and unofficial review of Spider-Man Lotus, I'm giving it I'm gonna change this to a 3 out of 10. Everything else is pretty much garbage, and the 3 was for everybody who worked on the project, who kind of left and wasn't a part of the project after the allegations and stuff happened. The costume people, the VFX people, whoever worked on those portions, that 3 is for you guys. And that 3 is going to be turned into a 10 for you guys. So, but not the movie. The movie sucked. So sorry, man. Me, John, Matt, Caleb, and Ethan. We all were in a Discord call watching it, and we all collectively agreed that it blew. It's upsetting. Is it not upsetting? Like, you see someone trying to make a accurate representation and an awesome representation of a character that represents unity, and you take that and use words like that and you disrespect people like that. Like, it's insanely disrespectful, and I just don't agree with anything he did, and it sucked. It sucks. So let's talk about some news, everybody. I'm sorry to end on that note. It's not what I wanted to do, but I mean, I get worked up about that kind of stuff because, like, Spider-Man's a character that I think represents everybody. Unity. That's what I said. So it just sucks to see someone act like that with this character. And, you know how much it means to me and everybody else. So I like protecting him for the people. So let's talk about some news, everybody. I mean, we got a lot. So I'm gonna pop them up on screen right now. These are all the new character posters we got for Marvel Spider-Man 2. We got Peter. We got Miles. We got the symbiote suit. We got Kraven. We got the Lizard. And then we got Venom. Let's go, baby. Some great stuff happening. I told you, I'm dying still. We are, less than 40 days away from this game launching? How exciting is that? One thing I did talk about in the last episode, but I'm unsure if all of you guys are watching the Let's Plays. I do want to reiterate that. For everybody who ordered the Collector's Edition of the game, we will not be getting our Collector's Edition until the day of Spider-Man 2. So that's October 20th. And for me, that kind of blows. My mail doesn't come around like 2 or 3. And then if it's coming FedEx or UPS, they don't come around to like 4 or 5. So I'm gonna go on this after. I'm gonna go on PlayStation Direct after and see if I can get some expedited shipping or whatnot. But that blows. I mean, there's nothing really too new in the Spider-Man 2 sphere. I mean, I'm just excited. We're really excited. I mean, me and Matt have been talking about it like nonstop every single day at school whenever we've seen each other. We're just like, dude, look at this. Spider-Man 2, blah, 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 this. Spider-Man 2, this. Spider-Man 2, that. I wonder if Venom, Kraven, what? Anything and everything we talk about is got to be Spider-Man 2 related. And, I mean, who's not excited? If you're a PlayStation owner, if you're a Marvel fan, are you not excited? This is going to be the biggest superhero game of all time, most likely. And I'm so excited for it. I cannot wait to play the game. I really can. Lastly, I do want to talk about some of the pushbacks. I know a lot of Marvel projects are unfortunately getting pushed back. I'm not that mad about it because I know the strike and I know the VFX teams are planning on unionizing and stuff like that. I am kind of glad that everything's kind of at a pause right now because it gives them time to kind of regroup and kind of understand what's going on. Because honestly, can I be honest? I do feel like after we get past some of the projects that were kind of under the foot of Victoria Alonso, who was known to be like the coordinator of VFX and whatnot. Mainly one of the reasons why the VFX teams kind of went off on Marvel on Twitter and whatnot. And also Bob Chapek, who, as people know him as Bob Paycheck, was kind of pumping out the Marvel project just because of money. And Bob Iger, honestly, I had a lot of respect for Bob Iger until what he said about the strikes. So it's very unfortunate, very unfortunate. But right now I do think that Marvel is hopefully going to be taking a turn for the better. I do think that in the future we will be getting projects similar to the ones that we got in the past. Good projects that we've gotten in the past, not the bad projects. I do think things will return to normal eventually. I know we've gotten a very big drought in terms of good in Marvel. We haven't gotten a good movie since I believe we have a good movie this year? No, we did not. Last good movie was Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. So we have not gotten a good Marvel movie this year. I'm honestly very excited for the Marvels. It looks very interesting. I love Iman Vellani as Miss Marvel. Monica Rambeau looks great. Tiana Paris, and we have Brie Larson's Captain Marvel, which unfortunately the movie's gonna get review bombed because she's in it. Honestly, this movie looks like they can do a lot of great stuff with this. I'm very excited for the Marvels because, I mean, Miss Marvel is currently one of my favorite characters in the MCU just because of Iman Vellani plays the character so well. She's such a great casting and she has such a good spirit. Did you guys know she is now writing Miss Marvel comics? She's the best. Are you kidding me? Could you imagine? She's the actor for Miss Marvel. She cares so much about the character that she's writing the comics. She's a co-writer on it. The new Miss Marvel series. I mean, so they killed Miss Marvel off in the comics, for those who don't know. In the most stupid way possible. In a Zeb Wells Spider-Man book, they killed Miss Marvel. And acted like Peter Parker and Kamala Khan had this huge connection, which they don't. Miles Morales and Kamala Khan have a huge connection, but Peter Parker and Kamala Khan don't. And they're like Peter was holding Kamala. I was like, Kamala, I'm so sorry. And she died. And then she came back as a mutant. So she's an X-Men now. That's Wakanda. How we do mutant? Just X. Yeah, X-Men. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't think I have anything else for you guys. So I think that about wraps up everything, everybody. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode back. Sorry if it was a little clumsy and chopped up. I did not mean it to be that way. It just kind of happened that way. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm sorry I went off the rails there with the Spider-Man Lotus talk. You guys know how I get about Spider-Man. But I'm very excited to be back. Be sure to take a look at my new Let's Play that I posted this past Wednesday. There'll be another one next Wednesday, and then there's going to be another episode next Friday of regular Hawk Sense here. And then we're also we did a club video that should be coming out in the next week. Hopefully, we're still in the edit of that. And then we have a new podcast called Hawk Talk. Now, Hawk Talk is a brand new podcast we're bringing to Red Hawk Media. I've kind of made it kind of just out of spite of myself because I love talking about superhero stuff. But there's only so much you can talk about. And when there's things like the strikes, I would love to talk about other things as well. like I do have other interests, so that's where Hawk Talk comes in, and we're gonna be doing a lot of stuff there. The first episode is actually gonna be with every student who participated in Hawk Talk's first episode for the club fair week, which is really cool. And we basically interviewed a bunch of people doing would you rather's, basically talking to them about their interests and stuff like that, and we had a lot of fun with it. So it's gonna come out next Friday. I hope you guys enjoy that. But if you guys want to check that out, you can check it out in the link in our bio of our Instagram, which is @redhawk.media. Make sure to follow us. And if you're ever interested, you can DM us and you're officially in if you go to Indiana University Northwest. But anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for listening or watching, and I'll see you guys next time.